Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It is almost 1 a.m. here in Columbus. Sunday, very early Sunday morning.
That's right.
We just, well, I'll say just, we got back last couple hours from seeing Paul McCartney on his Got Back tour.
And he did. That's a good shirt.
Yeah, that's a shirt. See him screaming there. He stubbed his toe.
Beautiful.
Yeah, saw him at the Nationwide Arena here in Columbus, a multi-purpose, arena type stadium that they're all over the country. Hockey arena. Who else plays there? Well, who plays there?
Well, Columbus Blue Jackets, the hockey team, plays there. But, just a ton of concerts there all the time. I've seen a lot of bigger acts there over the years. So, yeah, just, good place.
But probably nobody as big as Paul McCartney.
That's true.
This was Alex's first time. Seeing McCartney is my third, because that's what I do. But this was the big reason why I came up for this trip to Columbus, was to see McCartney. Alex was, very fortunate to get in the queue at the right time without getting, hammered with the Ticketmaster fees and all that stuff. We still paid the price, but we weren't paying.
But compared to what a lot of people across the country have been paying, I thought we lucked out or whatever.
Because you said like 3 rows in front of us, it was several $100s more than what we paid.
Yeah.
So yeah, saw McCartney, and like any McCartney show, which again the way that it should be for I think these legends, he had no opener. He didn't need an opener. He's going to put out almost a 3-hour show. I did pick this up for a fellow YouTuber. This is the actual program here, so that's kind of what we were looking at there. There he is, and all sorts of information. I won't go through that, but he's been on this tour since 2022. I actually saw the very first leg of it, like the first 5 or 6 shows, with my sister, which was the second time I saw him. And well, hey, bud, we got a cat. Yeah, just overall, before we get into some nitty gritty here, Paul sounded great. The band was great. The crowd was great. It wasn't a rowdy crowd by any means. Multi-generational, and exactly what you'd expect from a Macca show. But yeah, he came out, blaring "Help," the title track.
What'd you think of that opening?
I was a big fan. I thought it sounded good, because every time that I've seen McCartney, he's done like an early Beatles tune. Like he did last time he did "Can't Buy Me Love." The first time I saw him, he did "8 Days a Week" was the opening track. So I thought it was great. I mean, what were you thinking?
No, I mean it was obviously great. I thought it was just an interesting choice, given the song itself. But to open with that,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not a qualm by any means.
No, and what's so good about this, and people have their opinions on the set list, that he doesn't take risks. Well, again, here's the thing: he's 83 years old. He doesn't need to pull out the deep cuts for this type of show. I mean, he pulls out songs that the non-casual fans will enjoy. Like he does the song "Letting Go," the Wings tune. He did the song "Come On to Me," which is from Egypt Station, which is now 7 years old. And he does, "My Valentine" from his Standards album. But he knows that, he's playing to 20,000 people tonight. He's got to play the hits. And he's a people pleaser. He always has been. But for me personally, one of the things that really set it apart from other shows that I've seen is Song 2 was coming up from McCartney 2, and then Wings had a live single of it, I think later that year, which was the hit. He had the horn section too, which was great. I mean, what did you think of that?
No, that was awesome, right? And obviously, I think the we'll talk about the set, I'm sure, more, but I loved it, and which is weird because if you would have told me, and I didn't look at the set list beforehand, but if you would have told me that was how it was open, I would have been like, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
That's weird. But it just worked out so perfectly.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody that knows or has followed Paul the last couple decades, it's the same band he's had for a long time. And then one of his main side, and we got a cat, if I mentioned earlier, One of his main guys is Paul Wicks, who's playing, the kind of the keyboard parts, and then occasional other instruments to make some filler into the music. He's been with them since the late '80s. You see him on the MTV Unplugged concert, and then the other guys that he's had are just top tier, note perfect musicians, and really can help Paul if he's having a bad night with vocals or whatever it might be. But there's just a solid band. But for the Got Back tour, he's got these horn players that really bring in this great sound with songs like Coming Up, Let 'Em In that he did, the solo Paul track, stuff like that. It's just great to have like the extra filler.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, band's fantastic.
Yeah,
just awesome.
So, in terms of the set, I mean, what were some standouts for you, just in any order?
Oh boy, I mean, Blackbird is obviously classic. I think it's just, and this, but watching it live, especially at his age, and just bopping from like 5 different instruments.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like just
right,
like, no sweat. So yeah, Blackbird was great, and obviously just like the production behind all of that, of course.
He's back there. Not Paul the cat.
No spoiler. Well, I guess it's all a spoiler. It's a concert review.
Right.
The to me, like the second, you don't even say the second half of the show because that's still like an hour and 10 minutes. But just everything that closed it out, and the encores was just, I mean, was perfect. I could not. I know there might be some people who are, upset that there wasn't a specific song played or something. And I totally get that, but for me, the way the show ended was just perfect.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it wasn't a surprise because it's usually like the first half of the show is where he tacks on like the new songs that he's changed up from like the previous year or so. For me, it was like a great joy to get Jet back in the set list because I was telling Alex that's one of my favorite songs. It was one of the first like Wings songs that I really fell in love with, and he has it back in the set, which I think is great. But yeah, I mean the second half, pretty much standard fare from what you've gotten from Paul from the last couple decades. But some songs that I hadn't heard him do live. Again, obviously Help, Coming Up, Jet, was great. But for me, in terms of like emotions for the night, for me it was mostly just I didn't have like the moment where I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm about to burst into tears. But the song that I think touched me the most, and probably for a lot of people, was he did Now and Then, which was like the final Beatles track that was released as a single.
For sure, I agree. Something was great too.
Yeah,
I thought. But yeah, Now and Then I thought went over extremely well.
Yeah,
for kind of being like the new whatever.
Yeah, right.
The song, but yeah, I thought that went over super well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, not a whole lot to say. I mean, again, you're getting the standard stuff. You're getting Let It Be. You're getting Get Back. He's doing this thing for those that don't know. Again, this is a spoiler. But he does this thing where he sings "I've Got a Feeling," which I remember when he was doing it on the first leg. It was just after the Got Back documentary was on Disney, the Peter Jackson doc. And essentially they were able to take that technology and isolate John Lennon's vocals from the rooftop concert that the Beatles did in January of '69. And they get to harmonize on that song together, which is one of my favorites. And I love the riffs on that song. And like you were saying with the instruments, Paul is just really still just playing the instruments so well. I mean, he's still playing leads. He's still playing piano, tickling all sorts of ivories. Yeah, so I mean, you're getting all that stuff. You're getting the Abbey Road medley at the end,
That's perfect,
which is great. But one of my favorite parts was a particular rocker showed up in the set list that got this man very jazzed. You want to mention that?
Well, no, I was just I was telling Sam after the show like Helter Skelter falls somewhere in like my like top list. I don't know if it's top 10 or 20 or whatever, but just like top songs. And like I don't know what it was. It was the end of the set because that was part of the encore.
It was the second song of the encore, right?
Yeah. and just like when that slide kicks in, just
Yeah.
just something like struck me, like something like took over my soul.
Well, you struck me,
and I'll show this here in a second, because we'll see that. But I just started like losing it, and I was just, I see you again. Oh my god, dude. I was like, these people were around like this guy, and I was just, oh man, I was just, don't you,
lasers, all
oh
that
my
stuff.
god. Man, dude, I was
a chicken over here.
Jacked about that.
He was jacked.
Man, that was a highlight for me. It was definitely, it was Helter Skelter, and then obviously the medley. Just that whole, I was
Beetle heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that, the highlights for me, and then, Alex can get the poster out here. Let's do that off camera.
Lady, I'm so tired.
He's got to get this. We're leaving this in, folks.
Yeah. Keep talking to him.
Dude. It's 107. For me, the highlights were Jet coming up, and then, now or then, now and then. No. It's now or never, Elvis. But no, it was just a solid night. I would say, for me, in terms of like the venue, the venue was very interesting in that the seats were a little tight. We were squeezed in there. Again, obviously you can expect a full house. But other than that, thankfully our row was very courteous the whole show. People weren't getting up, getting drinks or whatever. So that was great. But we both got this poster. This is the Columbus exclusive poster. Pretty sweet. It's kind of like this like glossy, it's not really, traditional poster material, but yeah, we got that, got the shirt. Like I said, I got the program for a buddy, and yeah, overall worked out well. Tons of people there before the show started. But I think the venue did a good job of getting people, in there safely, and, Paul just was great. So if you're able to catch him on the tour, hopefully he'll announce some more dates, closer to like the East Coast. I know this was kind of more, West and Midwest, but hoping that he extends this for a little bit longer, because he's still doing great. He still moves around great for 83 years old, and
still got that. He still has that. He still just has like a swagger about him.
Yeah. He was dressed nice. Yeah. Just moved like, very nice.
His hips are great, but I don't know. It's hard to explain, because you see some people too that like, even if musically they're performing well, you can tell like they need some help getting around stage, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he was just, I can't believe this guy's 83.
And didn't take a drink of anything.
Meanwhile, like, we're back there like, sweating. My back. It was like, these seats are too tight, my back hurts.
I'm getting hit with posters. Yeah. But anyway, that was a crazy review for, a crazy night. But thank you all for sticking with us through whatever that was. Yeah. And
as he always says,
we'll see you next time.
See you next time.